far the sport where I know the least about. I know there's a couple things I know about football. I know the Chiefs are good.
Yep. Two-time champions, first time since.
I know Aaron Rodgers is coming back.
Yeah, he's going to be healthy. Hopefully, we'll see.
Hey man, the ayahuasca is going to help him see we already see 3 dimensions. It's going to help him see 4 dimensions, and he's going to fucking throw the ball through space and time to the receiver in the end zone.
We'll have to see how that plays out because he is playing. Hopefully this time around it's longer than 75 seconds. It's like you lost your virginity before.
You think the Jets win their division?
Funny enough, no. I think they're going to
be
start
the Bills,
out,
right?
I think it's going to be shades of 2008 when they had Brett Favre, where you start strong and then you collapse late. So my prediction is they come out the gate very, very strong, and then as the season progresses, that's when the age and the fatigue starts to show its head. Because I love Aaron Rodgers. I really want to cheer for him to do well, but it's just something tells me that they're going to collapse late in the year, and this will be his final season. He's going to retire because I don't envision a circumstance where they're going to get it done. You know, I'd hope that they're able to compete, but I just don't see that happening.
So who do you think wins this year?
Well, funny enough, I don't see Kansas City going and repeating because we've not had a 3-time in a row Super Bowl champion ever. Like, nobody's won 3 straight titles.
So if Patty Mahomes does that, he's the GOAT?
Funny enough, he would now only be behind Brady because I have him number 3 behind Brady and Montana. If he were to win 3 in a row, now he's in the position that Peyton Manning was kind of in. But he's leapfrogged Manning to where you may not have as much championships as Brady, but you take a look at the accomplishments like, hey, this guy is something different. Like if he walked away from the game, you have an actual argument that he could be the greatest of all time because of what you've been able to accomplish.
So last year they said that there was no way they were going to repeat, and they repeated, right?
And they repeated. And what's crazy about it was their team last year had a much rockier journey than the year prior, and they led the league in drops, which is crazy to have dropped the football the most collectively as a team. I think they had like 42 drops, and they still went and won the Super Bowl. And the manner and how they did it, they earned it all the way through. So they're one of those teams where it doesn't the regular season don't matter. It's like Deontay Wilder, where it's like, hey, you know, the whole fight, that's all well and good. But if he lands one time, fight's done. Yep. So like with the Chiefs, it's like, hey, whole regular season doesn't matter. Wherever they are on the ticket, if they make it to the playoffs, or I should say when, because they've always made it in Patrick Mahomes' career, now you got to see them because they truly have the championship acumen. So there's certain teams where, especially with somebody like Patrick, you're always
Who do you think wins it?
But overall, I think this is where it's kind of difficult. This is where it's kind of difficult because
the reason I'm asking because I'm gonna throw some parlays, you know, some early right parlays. I was listening to people. The reason I bring up the Jets because I was like looking at one, like if you get the Jets to win their division, it's like plus 500, meaning I could make some money there.
Yeah, there's a lot of money that can be made this season because I think a lot of what happened last year won't carry over. Like, for example, San Francisco, there's almost a guaranteed bet where Christian McCaffrey is going to score a touchdown. Like, there came a point where this guy scored like 17 weeks straight, missed 1 week for the first time in forever. I think he just had broke or tied the record for the most consecutive games with a touchdown, then went on another streak where he scored.
The thing about running backs, it's like it's so scary if they get injured or not.
Right.
Like running backs are like the most injury prone. Like fucking.
Yeah, because they take I think outside of like linemen, the running backs take the hardest toll, and unfortunately, they're paid the least.
And then Christian McCaffrey, I know he's he was engineered for this, but also still a little bit like scary. Like, I don't know. Like, how old is he right now?
It's a heavy workload. I think McCaffrey came in 2017. I think he's got to be like 28, 29, 27 at the youngest.
I know how my body feels, 29. Bro. If I'm getting beat up like that week after week, I'm done. So
I know he's going through. But I think there's a lot of different bets that you can put. I think that there could be a high bet with Chicago winning their division. I actually predict that they'll mess around and get it done because I think things are going to fluctuate. Like Detroit last year was Caleb Williams. Is that his last name? Caleb Williams? I think it's Caleb Williams. But he played for the USC Trojan, and then he came out. Is that the last name, Caleb Williams? I think it's Williams. But he's going to be like that lightning in the bottle kind of stuff. But ultimately, I think Chicago can go and win their division. I think Jacksonville will shock the AFC South. They'll win their division. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals, they'll probably go and win their division. Pittsburgh, I don't want to be a homer and have any sort of bias. Man, they're going to go to the Super Bowl. I don't want to have that happen. I'm kind of undecided on who I think will win the Super Bowl, but I just think it is going to be somebody's going to win it, outside of the Kansas City Chiefs, because I just don't think we're going to have three times, because I would love to see it happen, but I just don't envision a circumstance where it happens.
So I'm just a fan of greatness. I like seeing greatness happen. If they make it towards that in the Super Bowl, I will be rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs despite all the
funny
people
enough,
rooting. Because people hate to see people continue to win.
Right.
I'm the opposite. If I see someone like, yo, you can be great, you pull this off, I'm going to be fucking...
That's why now, after Brady's retired, everybody's come to love him. It's almost the same thing that's going to happen with LeBron when he retires. Same thing happened with Golden State.
Yeah.
People got so tired of seeing LeBron in the championship. When Golden State was starting to ascend, everybody fucking loved them. And then it got to a point where it's like, yo, these motherfuckers been to the finals 5 straight times. Then when they wanted to get, I'm kind of tired of going, man, fuck these guys. So once you have that continued greatness, people naturally go and they hate on you. So if Pittsburgh doesn't mess around and make it, then I will say, hey, Kansas City, go do the damn thing. I would love to see, Philadelphia go and compete, but I just don't see that happening. Dallas, I think, every single year it's always
they're cursed. That's what it is.
Yeah.
So
they're gonna miss. I think they're gonna miss the playoffs this year.
What's crazy is the Dallas Cowboys are the most valuable sports franchise on the planet Earth.
Yep.
I was like, the Dallas fucking Cowboys?
Mm-hmm. They marketed themselves like Jerry Jones, a fucking genius.
What's ridiculous about it? Because I'm thinking like, oh no, it's got to be a basketball team because that's international. It's got to be a soccer team, right? I'm thinking like, oh, it's got to be like Real Madrid or fucking like the Lakers, right? It's fucking the Dallas Cowboys, a sport only in America.
Yeah.
Champions of what?
Yeah.
The United States?
Yeah, and still, like, the amount of money they've been able to generate, because, for one, everything bigger in Texas.
It's the TV rights, bro.
They were able to, because they're always on, like, not prime, it's like the pseudo prime time slot, so like the 4 o'clock game on the East Coast. They've been able to leverage and make that happen.
It's fucking...
The Star, so it's very recognizable. The cheerleaders, I don't think anybody has, like, cheerleaders like Dallas does, because they had their own reality show for their cheerleaders. They had a reality show for their great market. Like Jerry Jones done an amazing job of increasing the value of that franchise. So they've done a hell of a job. But I do think that they're cursed because he sold his soul. Because I think when he in the 90s, they had won a couple of Super Bowls with Jimmy Johnson. And then there was like a power struggle between Jerry Jones and Jimmy Johnson. They brought in Barry Switzer. And then I think that Jerry Jones had said it on an interview maybe a couple of years ago. He's like, he made a deal with the devil. Like, hey, if you get me one more Super Bowl, I'll stop asking. They won the other Super Bowl. And now, 28 years later, he's like, I'd love to have another one, but you already cut your deal. Yeah. So the probability of him messing around and getting one, who knows? So we'll see. But, boy, Dallas, I see them collapsing this year and having a very tough season where they lose those 50-50 games. Right. And it's not to just, prey on their downfall. It's just that this happens year after year where you'll have a team that's very capable, but things don't go their way. Like, imagine if you're watching like with the Lakers in their series against the Nuggets. You lose by 2 buzzer beaters. You had a double-digit lead every single game of the series, and you lost. Things just ain't go your way. It doesn't mean that, hey, the better team won despite, the fact that you lost, but there's sometimes where things just don't go your way.
100%.
And I think that's going to happen for them this season. I think that's going to happen for them this season.
I think no matter what, every season, it's so funny because, like, everyone, like, is super, like, gung-ho. Cowboys. End of the season. It's like first round of the playoffs. Let's say they make the playoffs.
Yeah.
First round, they're bounced, and then they're like, fuck.
And that happened last year.
Exactly.
They played against Green Bay.
Every single time, they'll get bounced in the first round or something. And
Green Bay became the very first 7th seed to win a playoff game since they introduced the 7th seed. And, of course, it came against the Cowboys. And they just find ways to screw themselves when it matters most. And they're one of those teams, like kind of like Kansas City, but on the flip side to where the regular season doesn't matter because Kansas City's going to come alive in the playoffs.
Right.
For the Cowboys, the regular season doesn't matter because they're going to find a way to collapse when it matters most. I really hope I can see the day where they finally go and get over the hump so that, those people can have like that collective exhale of, it's finally over. But man, it's hilarious to watch.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
hilarious
it's
to
funny.
watch.